Oh, back to this. At volume 6. In a couple days. I had a concert Saturday and I brought this along for lyrics. Then I left it in my helper's van. Or not van, but truck. SUV. Yeah, I told you about that. Got a shelf system there. Technics one. Anyway, yeah. So I just got it back today. Oh, here we go. And I had a concert at our Rochester Fest this year. So let's see. Adamson. Of course, that's still around. Dad got his 94 Dodge Caravan there, and then his 2002 or so, 2004 or 5 Ram pickup. Land Travel, I don't think that's there. Alpine Greens, no. Amico, no. Handy's, yeah. Aviary, I don't think so. Douglas Lounge, no. Bachman's, no. Barber's Hut. Barber's hot, man! I'm kind of hot, too. I was especially on Saturday, because we were in this flooring place. If you watch my concerts, it's the place that we were at for Halloween. But anyway, yeah, it was a hot day. Hot and stuffy. Thankfully, I had this blower fan with me. I bought it Pan America right there. As you can tell, it puts out a lot of air. So anyway, Bear Creek Liquor, I don't think that's there anymore. Vincent Opticians, no. Best Buy, of course. Yes. Bicycle Sports, I don't think so. Blondell Scandinavian, Restaurant, I don't think so. Bridgman's, nope. Seal Brown, nope. Cardvark, nope. Canadian Honker, yes. Carter's Family, no. Chamber of Commerce, of course. Coast to Coast, no. Colonial Lanes, yes. Not sure if I ever mentioned that, but they really have good fries. They kind of remind me of McDonald's. But I won in Austin. They really had good fries. I think I've mentioned that before. When I play bowling with our organization there that helps people with mental disabilities, we play 2 games. So I play my first game and go up to the stand there and order fries, tell them what lane I was on. Then I can go back, start my second game, and then a couple frames in there would be at the table. Courtesy Motors, no. Cranberry Corner, no. Dayton's, no. Donut Hut, no. No. Downtown Deli, no. Eagle Drug, yes. I've been in there several times, like I said. Many times. I get my cards there, or candy, whatever. Econo Foods, no. Missed that. Esteban's, I don't think so, but I've heard about it, in the Facebook groups. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. Establishment, no. Famous Footwear, maybe. Fixed All, no. Talked about that. Finn's Family Restaurant, no. First Bank, Ford no. First Bank Downtown, I don't think. Even though I think I might have seen it at some point. First Bank Elm Hills, no. First Minnesota, no. Fisher Oil, no. Gift Express, no. Grandma's Kitchen, yes. And I missed that place. They had really, really good chicken there. But then the chicken supplier went out of business, so they tried another one. People didn't like it, so they took it off the menu, sadly. We found that out the hard way. But then there's this pizza place in Austin, Seif's Pizza, had chicken that tasted exactly the same. And then I noticed on their menu, they had taken the chicken out. So they both must have gotten it from the same supplier. Anyway, Green White Cola, no. Brown Round, no. Gulliver's, no. Hanny's, yes. Again, I pass by it every time I walk. Henry Welton's, no. Hillcrest, no. Hillcrest Liquor, no. Hoffman House, no. Holiday Station, not anymore. They're Circle K's now. Uncle's? Hunt's Drug and Hardware. Hardware, no. Drug, yes. Highway South, yes. IBM, somewhat. Complex is still there, but different offices. Jet Stores, no. Joe's Liquor, no. Carol Hotel, yes. Kentucky Fried Chicken, no. Kiwi Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken, yes. Yes. We get chicken there sometimes. Kiwi, yes. No! Kiwi, no! Lincoln's, no. Women Basket, no. Little Caesars, pizza, yes. Marquette Bank, I think so. Medicap, no. Medicine Shop, maybe. I think I've heard of it. MGM, no. Michael's Restaurant, no. Mr. Muffler, no. Mutual of Omaha, no. Napa, no. Or probably, actually. And actually, Mr. Muffler, I think so. O&B, no. Talked about that. Octopus, no. See, that's the problem with going too fast. I'm kind of messing up. Panakuchen, yes. Not sure if I've told you about that. They really have good stuff. And then when they bring you your Panakuchen out, they'll yell, not yell, but just Panakuchen. Party Place, no. PDQ stores, no. That reminds me that when I bought a Firex 0462, I got it through PDQ Supply. I wonder if they're still around. Yeah, it looks like they're still around. Or not. Oh, yep. I think that's it. It's been such a long time. Anyway, People's Natural Gas, no. Pergas, no. Pergas South, yes. I think I mentioned that. I saw my helper there and his family. Pet Parade, no. I remember that one in the mall in Austin. Post Bulletin, no. Oh, yes. No. Because that's where that fire alarm box was, in that area. Poster and Egger, no. Quarry Hill Liquor, I don't think so. Ramada, no. Ranch Restaurant, no. Sad. Rave Video, no. Red Lobster, yes. Even though it's a different location. No. Rennings, yes. Roberts, no. Rochester Shopper, no. Roscoe's, no. Sadly, that was pretty good too. Ruffalo Drugstores, no. Savvy's, no. Snyder's, no. Snyder's, no. Some controlled products, possibly Super America. I don't think so anymore. Susquehanna Jewelers, no. The Barbers, no. Times Square, no. Tom's Pontiac, no. Tarovsky, yes. Talked about that. Universal, yes. US Auto, no. Val Webb, no. Viking Olds, yes. Vineyard Fine Wines, no, but I've heard of it. Heard it advertised. Virgil's, yes. Please do their towing with them. And another place, Pulvers. Well, not do their towing, but have both of those places as their towing supplier or provider, if you will. Walden Books, no, but I've been to their stores before. Waldo's, no. Weber and Judd, not anymore. I told you about that. Wellhaven, no. It used to be here. This place we want to get out and walk. Had a big concert, so relaxing. Anyway, it used to be right here. Let's see. Get it over. There we go. Nice place. But now it's the Music Mart. And that's up here. Told you about that in, I think it was the Mainline newspaper browsing or real estate. One of those two right there. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's a nice place. I've gotten a lot of stuff there. Not anything really big, but like drumsticks. Had my snare drum fixed there. Cowbell, bongo stand. And then the new speaker I use got there. And several of my friends in the jam section have gotten stuff there too, or had their instruments repaired by them. So yeah. Anyway, we continue on. That GB Hudson, I've heard of it, I think. And that Woolworths again. Petro Mall, talked about that. Downtown. 201 South Broadway. I think that's, let's see if we can see it. No. That's Broadway, so it'd be on the other end of this building, other side of this building here. Maybe that's it right there. It's Landmark Center now. / Morgan Stanley. I'll show you. I'm seeing some live footage. Imagine this probably there. Right here. And that clock actually works. It actually tells the right time. Just like there's one on the Skyway here. One of these Skyways. Just the other one. And a third one. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh. Eighth. Ninth. 10th. 11th. 12th. 13th. 14th. 15th. Finally done. Huh? Why is that the same page as we started with? That was weird. Unless I went backwards. But 8th, 9th. Anyway. Awards. I remember that in the mall. Is that the one that I wanted to find but never showed the address? 201 Ninth Street Southeast next to Kmart. I'll bet that's where the Salvia is. Or was. Yeah. So that would have been right over here where the Salvia was. Saw that in a couple of my thrifting videos. Piggly Wiggly, we had one in Janesville. Talked about that. And I'm finally working on part 2 of my memories video. Or reworking on it because, like I said before, when I got my iPad, a new one, I had to rebuild some of the projects. Like that Minneapolis one. Consilla's, no, I don't think the rear on might be something else. On the phone, Sports and Swim. What is it again? South Street Northwest. I wonder if that's where what is it? Yeah, I think it is. Northgate Health Club, that's what I'm trying to think of. Yeah, that'd be where this thing was like right in here. Yeah, you can kind of see the label scar there. Let's see. Go down to 2007. Yep, see? And also one more thing here. One of these places over here. Let's just start a new one. Alright. Let's see, where is it? So there's a store over here where the fire line went off. This one? I think this might be it here. The fire department responded there a couple months ago for a fire alarm. Guess she had melted a spoon and it triggered the alarm. Let's see. Pictures look correct, I think. Yep, there it is. Yep. That's it. Because you heard the True Alert going off. Here, listen.
We're in the store. I don't know what it's called, but she had melted a spoon. She's going to show me where. There's no smoke or fire conditions. I believe the alarm panel's in the back of the building. I haven't located a key box yet.
Billy and Laura Ford, huh? I knew a Bob Ford. He was a carpenter. Did some stuff for us in Austin, our house there. And yes, I think he did drive a Ford, and there's the one my sister, Steph, and Dad go to. That's the one I told you about, or showed you the elevator. It's the one near that building that was almost going to fall down. Clark's Home Fair, no. Payne, I already talked about that. Payne, I already talked about that one. Darn. Don Shreve, no. I don't think so. I also never really had a need for home improvement, so. either myself or mom and dad. Obviously, I'm not sure if they do anything with an apartment anyway. They wouldn't, because I think that would be against the lease. It would. Come back out onto the second alternate side one. On the Galleria. Honestly, that's not there anymore. Not sure where it would have been. Yeah, I hated 94, so I think that could have been before the remodel. And I think I mentioned that in some video I have. It was a 4-story mall originally. Here's what it looked like. And here's pretty much the same vantage point now. As you can see, it looks like they took that kind of below ground area out. Then the stairway that's right over there. And there's a couple other things. Like, for example, those decorative moldings aren't there anymore. In fact, you can barely even tell that there were any there. And then these rails are different, of course. They look like this now. And all those signs are gone because, of course, this area has been closed off. That food court sign's gone and all those. That wall's still around, but like I said, that area up there is closed off now. I guess there's not much of that wall left. The ceiling's there. And, of course, the floor above. The actual top 2 levels are now University of Minnesota classrooms and stuff after they took it over. You know, sometimes you can get up there because our local voting precinct is there. So I voted there a couple times. Anyway, continuing on. Superstar, yeah, I've heard of that. We went to the one in Austin quite often. Let's see. Yankee Peddler, I think I've heard that. Yeah, again, sadly, they really don't have a food court anymore. Really, the only places that have food in the Galleria right now is the Salad Brothers, R's Pizza, and then Chester's, where that fire took place. There's a couple of coffee shops and stuff. Actually, just one coffee shop. It's this one, and it's more of an espresso taste. Actually, only just one coffee shop. It's this one. And as you can see, it's more of an espresso place. But still, a lot of people come here. Like, wait for my building. And sometimes come here and grab an espresso or something else and come to the table to talk, conversate. There have been a couple times where I've been getting up for my walk. I'll join them. And I don't get anything, but I'll join them in the conversation. Maybe not in the conversation, but I'll just sit with them. Maybe add a thing or two for their conversation. Pretty much that's all you have for food nowadays there. I guess I didn't feel about this as far as food. It's more a dessert type of place though. Well, and technically Michael's too. Back in the day, Michael's was an option. When you get to Michael's, you would have come through here. And then over here, there used to be doorways here. Right there. You can see the placard on the floor here. Obviously it's gone now. I'll show you. Right over here, down this way. Can't see it. It used to be here, but that's basically what remains of it. Be careful just in case you happen to see a fire alarm or something. Or a drain or something. Sandy Point. I remember Rochester, Minnesota Facebook group, they were talking about that. Good onion rings. I wonder if he was a doctor too. Or maybe at least a developer for a British video game company. That worked for a British video game company. No, they're not around, but I've heard of the name, so. I think they were a Mazda dealer too for a while. There we could see. And here. Yeah, I remember that place. Not sure if you heard that. A car outside sounded like a NASCAR. You know, the pitch was it'd be going awfully fast, though. I've been in there before, specifically the new area when they opened it. Had open houses, tours, and stuff. I have a little blip of the elevator in my Chime compilation. Where would this be? 16 South Broadway. Oh, let's see. So been there. Let's see. Let's see if we can see it. No. Older dates. Maybe that's it. Sidewalk Cafe. I don't think so. Anyway, I was going to show you this volume, but it's quite long. So I'll just end it here, and you'll see it in the next volume. So thanks for watching. And here's volume 7, and as I promised, let's start looking at this.